Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our 6-part series on the vital connection between employee experience and customer or guest experience, and the positive financial impact that any business can realise when they invest in their most valuable asset, their people, their brand ambassadors as we call them. So, without further ado, I'm welcoming again Marie Cross, fondly known as the UK's Queen of Customer Service, Adrianne Carter, body language expert extraordinaire, and Julie Wren, global health and wellbeing coach, nutritional therapist and spa educator. So last week we looked at what makes for a great brand ambassador. This week my question to each of you is, what exactly is the link between a great employee experience and a great customer or guest experience?
So I'm going to start with this one. As humans, some of our most important needs are to eat, sleep, breathe. And after that is to feel seen and heard. When people don't feel seen and heard, that's when all sorts of problems start happening. So for example, if your brand ambassador or your employee doesn't make your guests feel seen and heard, that's where problems can be shown. And tribunals happen on the whole when you look into the reasons because people don't feel seen and heard. So if you make your employees feel seen and heard, understand their needs, what do they need, you know, even if it's just a simple check-in, that will impact how they then deal with your customers and your guests.
For sure. So true. And there's so much research, isn't there? The study by Oxford University, the recent study by Oxford University around when you have an employee engagement program, a formal program that onboards employees from the outset, that they are, I think it's 88% happier in their role. Productivity levels increase by 21%. There is a 40% decrease in staff absenteeism due to sickness and stress, etc. The evidence is all there. The linkage between happy employees equaling happy customers or guests, which equals a happier and financially healthier business. The link is there to be proven.
I mean, I'm always saying as well that you can't deliver a 5-star guest experience if you're not receiving yourself that 5-star experience in your employee journey.
Yes.
And like you say, being seen, being heard, but also being valued.
Yes.
I think is another really important one, because how do we ask our staff to value our guests if we're not valuing our people?
And they don't feel valued.
And they don't feel valued. So I think I've mentioned it before, that we're not just delivering a service, we're actually creating those experiences. So I always like to look at it from the perspective of, it's not just the customer experience, but the customer wellness experience or the client wellness experience or even the guest wellness experience, then combining that with the employee wellness experience. Because I think as well, if I'm not showing up feeling well to work, I know myself when I'm watching people how hard they work. They're burnt out. I think at the beginning of a shift, you come in there and you're full of beans, and you would hope that by the end of that shift, if I'm in the treatment room with somebody, that they're still able to give me that attention and that care that they did at the beginning. But that's not always the case, because it's a really tough physical working environment. But not only that, I mean, energetically, you're giving so much of yourself.
Yes.
But then during your day, if you're not given the opportunity to resource and build that back up again, I think that's when we have also the disconnect between the experiences, is because I'm exhausted, I'm knackered, I've been working really, really hard, my back's hurting, I haven't really had time even to go to the bathroom, today very much. My guest is definitely going to feel that.
Yes.
So I think we could also look at that more, not just in how I'm delivering the service, but how do I feel?
Yes.
So how does my well-being being affected? That's then going to go on and affect how I can give that guest experience or that customer experience.
And that happens in our industry, equally, in that a customer will definitely hear when someone is not on their game, when they are not feeling on gas, they're not giving a shoot, and through not just how they are coming across, through their tonality, their inflection, their volume, their pace, and so on, but actually even what they are saying, the language they are using, they will words paint pictures, and they will definitely be using less you know, less powerful words to enable that positive picture to be painted when they aren't feeling, you know, totally on their game inside. Because as we know, our external world is a direct reflection of our internal world.
I was just going to add to that, you know, the mind-body link is so intrinsic that how you're feeling inside will show.
Yes.
You know, people might not always pick it up, but they pick up more than we realise. The subconscious cues we give off when we're not feeling great, even when we try to hide it, they come through. And people pick up on it subconsciously. They might not think, oh, they just did this, and this, but they'll get the overall impression of that person's not happy in their job. That person's not enjoying this shift. And that can have a big effect on the guest experience.
Absolutely.
Customers.
I mean, I sit a lot on my own in hotel, restaurants, and observing. You know, there's not much else to do. I'm not very good at the crosswords, but observing people as a solo guest, solo traveller, I get to pick up on awful a lot, and you know, I really feel and see them struggling, and you can see them working really, really hard. But if I'm picking it up, like you say, but I'm also looking for it, I can bet your bottom dollar, like you said, that the guests as well, it's coming across in some way, slipping in some way. Like I said, the guests might not be completely aware of what's going on, but they notice that something's off.
Yes, definitely.
And that off feeling can make the difference between a great evening or a not great evening, or a good treatment or a not good treatment, depending on where you are in the hotel.
And I think that's really important. Come back to your point about that feeling seen and heard and valued. You know, I used to be general manager of a business and I had a big team, and if you didn't make your team feel valued, why would they turn up and do a good job? If you don't make them feel valued, why would they do a good job for your customers? Because they're your customer too.
Well, they are. I mean, they are your. I mean, for us. They are the brand.
They are your internal
people
customers.
Are your brand.
Yes,
They're your internal customers. They're your brand. I mean, they're everything.
I think it's also recognising, as Adrianne can definitely talk more eloquently on this subject than me, but the 84% of a customer or guest experience is emotional. It's not about what we've said to them. It's not about how we've appeared to them. It's not about what we've done for them. You know, even if we have been a real gem and gone the extra mile, it's about how we've made them feel, as Angelo said, and it is so true, isn't it? Whatever industry we're operating in.
And I think a lot of businesses talk about emotions. There aren't many, Disney is one of them, that really does tap into the emotions of their team members and of their customers. But not many businesses talk about emotions but don't really get it.
It's so true. I'm always intrigued, especially each year I judge at the UK Employee Experience Awards, and there are some just amazing entries that I see each year of what organisations are doing to onboard and engage and ensure that the employee experience is as positive and powerful as their customer experience strategy is each year. And the question that I'm often asked by often clients who haven't yet onboarded a really good employee engagement or experience program is that but that costs money. And actually, as we know, there are so many things that we can do, that our clients can do, to provide high value to our employees at low cost.
Very much so.
One of our clients offers what they call wellness hours. You earn your wellness hours, where they move away from their desk. Sometimes they've only earned an hour, but they're able to move away from their desks. They'll go to the gym, they'll go do a bit of retail therapy, they'll maybe go home and have a little snooze for an hour and then come back. But that is such small cost to the business, because they'd be burnt out anyway and be off sick. And so very small cost to the business, very high value to the employee.
And one of the things that I tell my clients to do is to add an element of surprise, because happiness doesn't always motivate people and drive people's behaviour, whereas surprise, when you do something a little bit out of the ordinary, can actually really gain engagement and get people back on board where you want them to be.
I was doing an interview recently, and I was asking the assistant manager, I said, how do you sort of take care of the emotional needs of your team? Are you watching out for the signs? And she said something as simple as just leaving, it's a can of Coke, but the gesture in itself
Yes.
was the important point here, was that she said that we notice when somebody's had a really tough day and we just leave something outside their door. So when they come out while the guest is getting dressed again, there's a little something outside
That's
the door
lovely.
for them,
Yeah.
which showed
Yeah.
that the team has witnessed
Yes.
in that fast-paced environment that
Yeah.
something today was affecting that person, and that is that caring little tiny touch. So like
Yes.
you say,
Gesture.
Yeah.
the gesture is really important, but I think it does roll back as well to that decision of a company to embed it in their culture.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
to build for that and to create a strategy,
Yeah.
which often is missing because that well-being component perhaps is done but half-heartedly in some
Yes.
cases.
Yeah.
Ticking a
It's,
box.
it's,
Yeah.
it's a tick
Yeah.
box exercise,
Yeah.
but you need it to be that also to be authentically done.
Yes.
Because I think people coming into the industry definitely feel when it's just a tick box,
Yeah.
but how different it is when they feel that it's done with heart.
Yes. Yes. And that's where that element of surprise,
Yeah.
is so important
Yeah.
for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the probably the big learn for all of us is that recognise, accept, undoubtedly the linkage between employee experience, a great employee experience and a great customer experience. They are so intrinsic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can't have one without the other.
Absolutely.
But it does all start with the employee and having, even if it's not a formal employee experience or engagement strategy that you set up, if you're a small organisation that just has a kind of 6 golden rules of what it means to have a great employee experience here in our organisation, that everyone ensures that they follow. It doesn't have to be the kind of big bucks that we're spending, because those small things can make such a big difference to our employee experience.
Just don't do the can of Coke.
Or McDonald's.
not.
Wow, thank you so much again, Marie, Adrianne and Julie. Another load of food for thought there about the positive financial impact that both happy employees and happy customers can have on an organisation's success. Now in episode 3, we'll take a look at how we can turn our brand ambassadors into real customer-centric gems, that going the extra mile stars in our businesses, and the massive rewards that we and they can derive from becoming true gems. So in the meantime, feel free to like, share, subscribe or join our tribe. Marie's, Adrianne's and Julie's details can be found right here, and we'll see you next week. Same place, same time. Until then, take care and remember to be that purple cow in your field. Bye for now.